Well, millions of people have now seen this video of a Syracuse police officer leading a crying 8-year-old to a squad car. The incident now under review. The officer white, the young boy black. Police were called to the store because of reports that young people were stealing there. The child was not arrested. Today, New York Governor Kathy Hochul called the video, quote, heart-wrenching. Hochul also said the video, which has now gone viral, is difficult to watch. Newsy Justice correspondent Jamal Andrus live tonight in Dallas. And Jamal, a lot of points of view about what exactly we see on this tape. So walk us through the incident itself and the main concerns.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I think the concerns are pretty clear here. As you mentioned, many people believe this video is difficult to watch. They have said that the officers were heavy-handed here, considering the age of the kid involved, 8 years old, and the alleged offense, you know, stealing a $3 bag of chips. But what I was most concerned with, and part of the reason why I think this struck such a chord across the country, are the chronic issues sort of hovering around this incident. First, studies show interactions with police can cause psychological distress within youth in particular, anger, anxiety, depression, as well as less engagement in school as soon as the next day. Not only that, but, you know, there are racial disparities within the punishment and who gets punished when we start talking about youth engagement with law enforcement. Studies show police and the general public tend to view black kids as older than they are by as much as 6 years in some cases. So seeing that 8-year-old and seeing a teenager. Also, studies show black and Latino kids are arrested at a higher rate than their white peers. You know, I spoke to Kristen Henning, who is from Georgetown Law School and has made a career out of defending juveniles and actually wrote a book about the quote unquote criminalization of black youth. Listen to what she had to say.
The research shows that black and brown children who live in heavily surveilled neighborhoods and who have frequent stops and frisks by the police report high rates of fear, anxiety, depression, hopelessness. They become hypervigilant, and they begin to distrust police officers. They begin to question the legitimacy of policing as an institution. So the reality is we're doing more harm than good.
Now, all of that said, some officers are pushing back here. The Syracuse PD deputy chief called this incident, quote unquote, community policing 101. He said that because the officers never handcuffed the kid, knew the kid from prior interactions, took this kid home, and spoke to the kid's parents, saying that this is all that you want from an officer who patrols a community and gets to know that community. To that end, you know, I spoke with a former officer whose job is specifically to train law enforcement on how to interact with youth and do it better. And he mostly agreed. Listen.
All in all, this appeared to be a fairly appropriate response. Would it have been nice if there had been a number you could call to contact a youth counselor who could come and stop the young men and talk to them about what they were doing? Sure, but that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anyway. So we find that police across the country are being asked to deal with situations that are minor offenses, even non-criminal offenses.
Now, he's alluding there to an issue that we have heard often, even in other situations with the mentally ill, with those that are dealing with addiction. This idea that officers are flat out being asked to do too much with too little training. Rob?
Newsy's Jamal Andrus reporting tonight from Dallas. Jamal, thank you.